Why don't I talk about the Deep Six and you talk about the Crossbones? Kind of real simple. There's been such a focus on big, massive, super high gravity beers. You know, imperial stouts have been sort of heavily in vogue, and porter is a style that sort of fell off the scale. I've always been a huge fan of English style beers, which also sort of kind of fell off the radar for many years. I cut my beer drinking teeth as a student in London in 1974, so that will always sort of be my beer home. So when we were talking about creating sort of a new seasonal, Chris sort of threw the whole porter thing into the mix, and it was pretty easy for me to get excited about going along with that. What I really like about this one is the structure. It's much lighter on the palate than you think it's going to be when you first look at the color, which is exactly what a porter is supposed to do. And I really like the flavors are very well layered. I mean, you can sort of pick apart the flavor elements as you drink it. So I'm very happy with it. In fact, I'm probably going to have another.
Perfect. The highest compliment. So Crossbones began as an idea. Session IPA is very popular, and sometimes you can outthink yourself and try and do something so clever that it bites you in the butt. So we thought, hey, you know, can't beat them, let's join them, but let's do it our way. And as I mentioned earlier, having some experience brewing low alcohol beers, looking for a full-bodied low alcohol beer, maybe one that, you know, some of the session IPAs I've had are very bitter and quite dry, and maybe not as give me a satisfying experience as I would when I have something.
They don't have the mouthfeel.
Right,
they're thin.
Exactly. So we approached the Crossbones from a technical standpoint as something that we wanted to have a high final gravity. So it would have some residual sugar to it. It would have some body to it. In fact, it has a higher final gravity than Loose Cannon, which is our 7.5%, 7.2% alcohol IPA, which is our flagship beer. The Crossbones is a higher final gravity than Loose Cannon does, but a much lower starting gravity. So we're fermenting less sugars down to not, you know, keeping a higher final gravity. So we've got the mouthfeel. The hops were something that was, I don't want to say it's a work in progress, but still trying to quite decide exactly how we wanted to go. We wanted some fruitiness, we wanted some citrus flavor, but we didn't want it to be a one-dimensional hop flavor. So we found this, it's not experimental hop anymore, called Equinox, that sort of has a bell pepper flavor and some lime and some other citrus flavors that we use in the middle of the brew. When I say in the middle, I mean putting them in the boil, so it gives us the flavor component, not necessarily the bitterness. And then our aroma hops are very similar to Loose Cannon. We use Simcoe, we use Amarillo, and we use Cascade. So we're looking for a very well-developed or complex hop profile in the beer, with a nice mouthfeel, with a little bit of sweetness, but not too much. Crisp, but yet satisfying. So I think we've achieved it, and I think the package is pretty cool too. So
Package is very cool.
Yeah, so that all worked out pretty well. So we're really happy with the way that was executed.
X marks the spot.